with authority.
Welcome to another quarantine edition of our With Authority podcast. Larry Beal, Casey Pratt, Chris Alvarez, and the man who's joining us from his backyard in Dallas, from the San Jose Sharks, Stefan Noesen. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you look pretty comfy in Dallas. What's the weather like in Big D right now?
Today is about 68, sunny, no clouds, no wind, no nothing. So it's a good day today.
Beautiful, beautiful. I wanted to start this by checking out your Twitter because we're all stuck in quarantine, and you posted a thing that said Aquarius in quarantine, and you got a list of things here. Their home is starting to feel like prison, doesn't believe a word the government is saying, figuring out a way to save the world, watching conspiracy theories on YouTube, diving into a new creative project, ignoring everybody's text messages, will most likely break out of quarantine, and ignores all warnings. Of all of those things, which would you say most represents how you feel right now? What's number one on this list?
Oh, honestly, I have to go back and relook at all of them just to make sure I didn't miss one.
I just gave you the whole list.
Yeah, but my mind's not thinking that much. Come on now. I don't know. A little bit of everything, honestly. You believe I can only watch so much TV because you can only watch so much of what the government's saying because not everything is 100% factual, and they're giving us broad pictures of that. So that's kind of part of it. And I don't know. I'm ready to break out of quarantine. I'll tell you that. I'm ready to go out there and start doing things with this weather. I want to go golfing. I want to go do all the fun stuff that we're not even able to do. And I really miss working out. Honestly, I never thought I'd really say that, but I really do.
When was the last time you were on skates?
I actually just went for a rollerblade for a half hour. So if that counts as skates, then I just did that. But
we'll accept it.
Yeah, other than that, the last game was in Chicago. That was the last time I was on skates.
Okay. Guys?
What are you doing to just kind of keep your mind occupied right now? I know we saw you with your dog just a second ago, and there's a lot of things that we're all trying to do to kind of stay sane in this home quarantine era we're in, but kind of what are your hobbies right now? What are you doing to pass the time?
Really, I'm not doing a whole lot. We've got a house being built right now down back here, so that's kind of getting giving my attention, but we can't really go anywhere to do anything for the house. Like you can't go find a rug. You can't go and look at couches. You can't go and do that kind of stuff. So it's just doing all of it online, which doesn't really kill more than 20 minutes of my attention span. And then I got to go do something else. But other than that, trying to do my best to stay active, really. Go for a run, do Peloton bike rides, just, stuff like that.
Has that been a thing with your teammates though? Like group Pelotons? Is there competitions? Who's winning, et cetera, et cetera?
Not really. I don't know how many people actually have Pelotons, and quite frankly, I haven't really talked to too many of the guys because it's just been a lot of the guys went back to Europe and that kind of stuff. But Blake Coleman and I, he's from this area, but they're in Tampa right now. If I do a workout, I'll send it to him, and he'll do one. He'll send it to me, and we try to beat each other's scores and stuff. And it's fun when you can do stuff like that. It just keeps you entertained a little bit.
Stefan, we're all missing sports, and yesterday I don't know if you've seen this on Twitter, the All-In Challenge athletes teams across the country in sports are basically giving away these great gift packages in order to raise money. It's the Fanatics owner kind of put it out there. And everyone across the board is really doing this. Have you seen it? And if you haven't, what are your thoughts on that? The sports world really coming together to rally for this COVID relief.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I've been actually a little busy the past few days, but I think it's a good idea. I really do. Is that very team oriented, or is it just the whole sports in general?
If you were to, I don't know, you're big on Twitter. If you typed in hashtag All In Challenge, you just go through a stream, and Jerry Rice, the 49ers, everybody, it's different athletes. Drake, their people are challenging everyone. So it's really just putting out a package of some sort of experience for a fan, and all the money is going to go to relief. So
gotcha.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, I mean it's a good idea. I think it's something cool, and I think you gotta have some sort of clout to be able to really do that. And I think the right people are leading that industry in that sense. And, I guess we'll see what I can do for that too.
I wanted to touch on your background a little bit, because usually when we interview hockey players, one of the things I like to ask is, what was life like growing up in Moose Jaw or Saskatoon? But you're from Dallas. So how did you get into hockey as a kid? And have you ever been to Moose Jaw or Saskatoon?
I have not been to either one of those. I just know the name of it because they have hockey teams. But growing up, in Dallas, it was, it's an industry really driven by, football, driven by, baseball, which, I was kind of forced to having to play those things growing up just to be able to have friends down here, because there wasn't really, many people that went to my school that actually played hockey, and the few that were, I still keep in contact to this day because there were so little of them. My teammates, we created one team, and we were based all around the Metroplex. So, maybe my nearest teammate was, an hour drive away, which, that's pretty far to go over there to go have a day, swim party and come back home that night. The parents really didn't want to drive that far. So, you really limited your options, and you had to play baseball, you had to play basketball, you had to play these sports just to really be able to connect with those people in school. And, for me, I moved away when I was 14 because, the competition in the area wasn't all that great. And I really wanted to, try to see if I could make myself into something. And so we moved to Michigan and went to high school up there. And it was fun. I really enjoyed it. But, I didn't have too many friends back in Texas to really miss. I mean, I had probably about 4 or 5 that I actually kept in touch with. And even to this day, I've probably got like maybe 2 or 3 that I still keep in contact with that, through thick and thin, they've always been there. So.
Is it harder for American-born hockey players, you think, to break through, given the fact that hockey would be considered probably the 4th major sport in the United States, whereas in Canada, or, well, Michigan being close to the border, it's much more of a big deal?
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of why we moved away and why I wanted to move up to Michigan, because it kind of gave me a better sense of the competition of my age group, and gave me a sense of, if I was able to, if I was still one of the top players up there, that, maybe I could do something with hockey. And it was more of a challenge to myself, because I was fairly good at baseball, but I wasn't, nearly the level that of going to college or pro or anything like that. But when I went and really focused all my attention to hockey, that's when I kind of figured out that, this is something that I actually could see myself doing, and it worked out for me.
Staying on your background, there are injuries in sports you do not want. Achilles, ACL, you've had both. So how hard was it overcoming that? How hard has it been to kind of get back into a full rhythm and feel full strength? And are you seeing the fruits of that labor now with the Sharks?
Yeah. Oh, shit. Something just happened here. Hold on.
We still have you.
Am I there? Oh, sorry. I thought all my things just went away. Yeah, I mean, those are 2 injuries that you don't want to have happen to you at all. You don't want any injury to really happen, but those are 2 pretty significant things. And if you were to tell me that I were to come back to, play 200 games in the NHL after doing both those things, I don't think I would have believed you at the time. And it's just really work ethic and going through and battling through your injuries and trying to prove people wrong. I think that was the biggest thing that drove me during that time was, I was a first round pick, but I was kind of a suspect first round pick for some people. And, that was something that I took to heart. And so going into my first professional year, I was like, I'm going to prove these people wrong. And then all of a sudden now I get hurt. So now they're like, people go the old, I told you so, like this guy's not going to make it. This guy, now he has got this to go through and have to overcome. And for me, it really drove me, and it drove me to have to mature really, really quickly. And to kind of figure out what I wanted to do with my life, because if I was going to let this define me, it was going to be a long road for me. And I really wanted to prove those people wrong. And it was unfortunate that it happened 2 years back to back and was limited to only about 30 games total my first 2 years pro. And I would say it definitely hurt my development, but it just prolonged my actual, the actual age of how long I'll be able to go to. Because yes, I had those injuries, but not having 2 years of wear and tear on your body playing the kind of style that I do, it can maybe increase my longevity a little bit longer. So.
Stefan, it's been about a month, and it feels like the longest month ever since everything kind of stopped with the games. Is there a point, do you think, that there's a cutoff, a point of no return where they just would cancel the season? And what are your thoughts on when's the latest we could come back, and how much time do you need to prepare to go for a stretch run in the regular season and then, teams that are going to go to the playoffs?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I've probably battled this with myself numerous times on whether I'm getting myself up to go work out that day, honestly, because it's, without being able to see, an end to this, really, it's hard to get motivated for things, especially in the position that we're in with San Jose. We're not obviously not making playoffs. And so for us, it's hard. And the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to jump back into things and all of a sudden now you're hurt and now you're missing parts of next year. And I think the biggest thing is making sure we get a full season in next year, because we do have a new TV deal coming in within the next, I think it's a year and a half, maybe last year. Next year's our last deal, or last year of it. As important as it is to, make sure we go through playoffs this year, just in a revenue aspect for us, I think it's even more vital to go through a full 82 game season next year. So I don't know when the point of no return is. I couldn't be the one to tell you that either, because that's above my pay grade. We kind of are just, ponies in the show, really. And I know it is going to wind up being up to us in the grand scheme of things, but it's going to be a lot on our government to give us the A-OK to go forth with things. And I don't know how it'll work with TV deals. I don't know how it works because we don't have any fans in the stands, how they're going to generate revenue on that. That's all something that's new territory for everybody, and a lot of discussions are going to wind up having to happen in order for us to figure out what's best.
You mentioned getting guidelines from a local government or national government, as the case may be. And in the past few days, we've heard the governor of California say mass gatherings, large crowds, that's out for a while. And you're starting to hear that from more and more people. How would you feel playing games in an empty arena, games that count, but fan-free? Do you think that's a good first step back, maybe?
I think that's the only step back, really, until we have a vaccine of some sort to make people feel safe to come into the arena. I really think that's the only thing that you can do in order to get this thing back up and running. And then once, we feel safer and the governments, local and national, feel better, then you start letting in, certain amount of fans, and kind of go from there. But again, this is all stuff that it's going to have to, I can say this all I want. I can see what I personally feel and what I see fit. I mean, for me, I would have loved to see us, take this month to really understand what was going on, and which we have, and kind of get us back in there. But this is just, that's just me. There's a lot more at stake than just sports, and people are dying every day from this, and it's something that's got to be taken seriously, and something that we got to think outside the box on this for sure.
I know we want to get into some more fun stuff. I'm switching my background now.
Hey,
the Lion King. I don't know if you can see that, but it's probably something you've been asked a ton about. But Hakuna Matata means no worries. That's your goal song. That's the song you chose when all the Sharks players were choosing their goal song. So, maybe you can fill in our viewers on how you came to that. And it's really kind of caught on, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, the reason I really wanted to do something was, the whole point of picking your goal song is to express your personality. It's to express yourself towards the fans and build a connection with them. at least that's the way that I looked at it. And I always been a really big fan of Rev Theory's song Hell Yeah. And that was one that I was, it's a way that whenever it says give me a hell, give me a yeah, and then it says hell yeah. So that was something that, I imagined. That was actually my goal song in juniors, and I thought it was really cool because then it would get the fans involved. So getting the fans involved in the actual goal song is something that I really wanted to do. And when the more clean version of everything was we were sitting in a hotel room and wound up thinking about that being part of one of the songs. And I mentioned it to, Deller and Timo's in the room as well. And they said, oh yeah, that'd be kind of cool. And so that's kind of how we came up with it, was just very simply thinking of a way to get the fans interacted with it, and thought it'd be kind of cool. And obviously didn't know how it was going to react. I'm not one to score many goals. I'm not going to, you're not going to hear it 50 times a year by all means. Yeah, you might not even hear it 20 times a year by all means. But the few times that you do hear it, it's memorable. It's something that fans can, interact with you. And like you said, it's got a lot of attention, and maybe a little weird for the first time it was heard, but it was cool. I really enjoyed it, and everyone loved it.
Yeah, it's good. As long as you stay with Lion King and you avoid Tiger King, that would be preferable.
I think everyone's
really good.
I think everyone's on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who has outside of your goal song? Who has some of the best songs and the worst songs on your team right now?
Oh, I spent about 1,000,000 days, and that's very, very facetious, but going over a goal song with Timo Meyer, and I can't tell you how many times he is like, "Oh, this would be awesome," and I'm like, "Nobody is gonna like that song." And so it was kind of the running joke, and he picked one that was good, but it's his style, right? So he likes that kind of that techno beat. So more power to you. My favorite song, I like Cooch's song. I really did. It was just so unexpected, and I really enjoyed it. I thought Mo Bamba from Caners was pretty cool. It was the bass in the sound system in the rink really got it going, which is sweet. I like Shellman's. Shellman's was pretty good. I can't tell you which one I thought was bad, because we didn't really hear too many of them. And plus I can't even really remember the bad ones.
Well, as long as you're hearing them, that means goals are being scored, so that's a good thing.
Very true. But yeah, I can't remember any bad ones, actually. The only one that I didn't really understand was maybe Burnsy's, but he explained it, and I guess I understood it, but whatever. He's different.
What were your rejected goal songs, like when Timo said, "Hey, how about this?" And you said,
Oh, I don't know. It was all just techno, like just stuff that, like, maybe if you're on like ecstasy or Molly, it'd be cool. But like you're going to a hockey game and like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it was something that was. I don't know the names of these songs. This is all European style.
Yeah.
Going off.
Our live Facebook audience loved the last reference, I believe.
Going off of that, there's some guys that really take their style seriously and some that don't. Are you one of your teammates the best dressed and someone that just really needs to step up their game in that department?
I think everyone, if you said this question, I think everybody would say that Marc-Edouard Vlasic probably needs to step up his game a little bit, but he doesn't really care, so I guess it doesn't really count. Best dressed. Ooh. I mean, I gotta give Kaner definitely a top 3 because he's fitted by my boy at Gents Playbook. So shout out to Gents Playbook. I expect a little clap back for that.
Always looks sharp. I know Burnsy does too.
Yeah, Burnsy's up there with me for sure. Deller is definitely his outfits are very loud, which I like. I enjoy. I definitely appreciate that because I've got a few loud outfits myself. Trying to think of anybody else I can think of. Timo always looks good, but it's just his hair. It's not his suits. Trying to think anybody else. Yeah, I can't really think of anybody else, but I definitely put with Kaner and Deller and Burnsy up there in top 3. Burns is just very different. His style, you got to appreciate that in the cowboy boots, cowboy hat, and that kind of look to really say that he's up there on the best dress, which I do because I am from Texas. So
there you go.
He's different in a lot of ways, actually. But I wanted to go back.
You said that, not me.
Yeah, no, but that's a perfect transition. Casey, can you pop back to our Tiger King background?
Yeah, I believe I could accommodate that for you, Larry. Here you go.
There you go.
There it is, Tiger King.
So, Stefan, have you watched Tiger King? And the reason I want to go down this line is because, growing up in Texas, you're not that far away from Oklahoma. So I'm wondering if you knew or anybody from your background that might fit in that show.
Oh, no, not at all. That show, I have seen it, yes. And I mean, it was a little too, this is live stream, so it's a little too messed up for me. I won't say the word I was really saying. I think we all know that. But it was a little messed up for me, just in that I mean, I don't know if it gives the South – I don't know if it's supposed to give the South a bad name or if it's not, or I don't know. Maybe it's just an individual or couple, but it was something I've never, ever experienced. I don't talk to people that do that sort of thing. But I will say, as a kid, we had people come to bring like those big, large snakes and big, reptiles like that into our school just to kind of show us and do that. So I don't know if he was one of them that did that or if he wasn't, but it was definitely something crazy.
Now I want to stay on the animal thread here because I saw a video. We did a deep dive on your Twitter page, and there's a video of you skating on a rink, and there's just dogs everywhere. And you showed us your dog a little while ago before we started the record, but what was the story there? And maybe tell us a little bit about the pup you just had a second ago. I don't know if you could hold him up again, Lion King.
Yeah, if he's here, I'll call him real quick. Hold on.
Is he coming?
I don't know if he is. He's not really listening, but this is my mom's. This is my mom's puppy.
There we go.
There we go.
That's Finn. That's my mom's dog. I got 2 more. Hold on. 1 second. Let me call him again.
See, this is savvy. He's muting while he does the dog call, so we don't all have to hear it.
Yes, you don't have to hear me baby talk my dog.
Oh, but that'd be the best part of this live stream. How do you call him? Come on, give us a call. Give us a dog call.
No, here he comes. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Oh,
there we go.
Say hi, Coda. Look at you, buddy. Hey, look right there.
Coda?
Look at you. Oh, do you see him? Do you see that on TV? So, all right, he goes down. So, yeah, that's Coda. I forgot the question, though. What was the question again?
No, I just wanted to know about the video about all the dogs on the rink with you.
Yeah, so you always see these videos of people with their dogs. Oh, actually, here's the other one. Come here, buddy. You don't like being picked up, but he looks skittish. That's the other one. That's Taz. He's my oldest. We had him when I was in juniors. But say hi, buddy. He hates this. All right, go on. Ouch. So yeah, you always see, I don't really get many opportunities to bring my dogs to the rink, and it was Thanksgiving. We had some friends in town. They've actually got one of our, is it his brother or my mom's dog, his brother from the same litter. They actually bought or adopted or bought, or I don't know which one ever they did, but bought from the same litter. So they came and visited us, and they were actually in Jersey, and this was Wilkes this year when I was playing there, and I was able to bring them on the rink. I thought it'd be a good idea, and there was 4 dogs I think there was on the rink at that time, and practice had ended. We were just on the ice for like 20 minutes. It was just to get a sweat before Thanksgiving dinner and all that, and we were cooking and put the turkey in, or the prime rib in, whatever it was, and before I got to the rink, and then they came up there and just skated with us, and I wanted to see how they reacted on the ice, and it was very comical, that's for sure. I didn't expect our oldest one to be running around, and the young one was just barking the whole time and being annoying, and it was pretty cool. But I never got a chance to experience anything like that and thought it'd be kind of cool, so that's why we brought him out.
You guys also have Finn, the shark pup. How often do you see him, and how nice is it to have a team dog mascot?
He's around pretty regularly, actually. Before we go out on the ice, he's always kind of there, and I'm a big animal and dog lover, so it's hopefully he doesn't take a shit back there. Let's scoot over there. But yeah, no, it's cool. I like that. That's a great dog, and he's just a puppy too, which makes it pretty fun. And puppies are always entertaining.
I'm looking at the live stream. We actually have a bunch of people asking questions, so I'll just fire off a couple of them. This one's from Nicole Renee. Are you going to keep the same goal song next year? Are you willing to commit to that?
I think we'll have to take a fan vote on that. I think they'll all say yes, so might as well. Sure.
All right, this one's from Felix Chow. What was the locker room vibe like this year? I know that this wasn't exactly the year that the Sharks typically have, but, how are the boys in there?
Again, I mean, I'm fresh eyes coming into this. I think for the situation that we were in, I've been on some teams that, my 3 or 4 years I was in Jersey, we were only really good for 1 year. And to see how, with us being not as good this year in San Jose, I didn't expect it to be as positive as it was. We had John Hines as a coach, and he was, he really wanted to win. And whenever we didn't win a game, it was scream and yell. It was, make sure you get the most out of all your players. And that was the way that he believed was the best way to do it. So sometimes going to the rink wasn't exactly easy. Being with San Jose, going to the rink every day was very enjoyable. Maybe that was partly the weather. Maybe it was the group of guys we had, because the group of guys was good. Or maybe it was, Jumbo being Jumbo and being entertaining every day at the rink was something different with him, which was awesome. And, he was, if he's in a good mood, you're in a good mood that day. And if he's in a bad mood, we're kind of all in a bad mood, and that's just the way in his personality and what he brings to this team. And so I was very relieved with how we were, because I think it allowed you to play your game, and it allowed you not to pucker up, and it allowed you to kind of be yourself.
This kind of goes on what you're saying about the locker room and the vibe, but what do you miss most about not playing hockey? Is it the competition? Is it the fans? Is it your teammates? Is it a combination of all those things?
Yeah, well, I think it's a combination of everything. I mean, I miss being with the boys. I miss going into that locker room atmosphere. I miss, going in there and, and hanging with that group. And, you live and die by the boys. And, if the boys are having a good time, you're having a good time. And if they're not, you're not. And that's definitely one thing I miss, the majority out of everything. And obviously the fans are great, and you live to play games and you live to do that. But, the competition of everything is what we live for. And, to be able to score that winning goal, to make that winning play, to make that winning block shot, to do all that stuff, that's something that you love to do. And hey, I miss that a lot.
Don't your dogs know that you're on a live stream right now? I mean,
yeah. I mean, they're just going to be.
There we go.
Look at
them. If you could look at the locker room, obviously injuries just crushed the Sharks this season, and that explains in part the record. But going ahead to when we actually have games again and things are up and rolling, do you see the makings of a playoff contender at this point?
Yeah, I mean, you have two of the best defensemen in the whole entire league on this team. You've got, a top six when healthy that is, I would put them within a top six in the league for sure. And finding those people to compensate that bottom role, those bottom six roles, I think we have a very good group of guys that can do that. Some guys might not play every single game, and that is what it is, but they're ready to come in whenever they have to. And and contribute whatever way they can, and you ride with the hot hand. Both of our goalies, I think Jonesy was starting to find his rhythm again. I thought, Deller's been playing really good all year. So yeah, I definitely see a contender in that aspect. And, for the most part, it seemed like a lot of unlucky things were happening. And a lot of bounces, that were probably going their way. Years previous kind of went the opposite way. And maybe it's just the wear and tear of us being a bit of an older team and going so deep into playoffs year after year. Maybe it's wear down, maybe it's just unlucky this time around. But with this layoff and that we've had and the hunger for everyone on this team to get back to playing, and I see us definitely being a higher end contender for sure.
We've gone this far without even asking you about golfing. I know you're a huge golf fan. I believe you were there when Tiger won the Masters, so top moment of your life, etc. How crazy was it to be there for that, and how much time do you get to spend golfing?
Well, summers are my I get summers to myself. I really get the past few years I belong to this course where I haven't made a tee time in 4 or 5 years, which is awesome. I show up, I'm the only person on the course during the day. I can go and play 36 holes in 5 hours because there's nobody out there. I did a 100-hole challenge was it last year or 2 years ago that took me 6.5 hours to complete, and it was just I was able to just go out there and do whatever I wanted and to be able to get that done. So it's a big part of my life. My grandpa is a big golfer, and he hosts a tournament in Levelland, Texas every year that I go and play with him there. And it's kind of my thing to get away from the house and really it's kind of my peacefulness, even though I don't really get peace and quiet out of it because I get really mad as well. And that's just the competitive side of me. But
I think we can all relate to that.
Yeah, no, I love golf. It's something that I miss doing, tremendously.
Best course you played and the course that you really want to play?
Best course I've played. Ooh, there's some really good courses. An undercover, I've got probably 3 or 4 that were really awesome. One was Belfair, so kind of goes with that whole Tiger experience last year. So we did a golf trip after the season. We went to Hilton Head and played 2 days down there in Hilton Head. Got a chance to play 54 holes, and then flew over to the Masters after. Went to Saturday, Sunday. So that was a very big highlight of my life for sure. And one of the golf courses we played there was called Belfair, and they were hosting the PGA Professionals Championship that last summer, and it was really, really cool. Another one would have been, there's one in San Diego called the Farms, and it's the only course from what I've told that Phil Mickelson actually pays to be a member at. Wow. And it is the hardest yet most beautiful course I've been in quite some time. There's one in Dallas, it's in Houston that I really want to go play. And once this kind of ban gets lifted and we're able to go there, hey, stop eating that! Stop eating that! That's not good. Sorry.
What's he eating?
One dog he just ate a bee.
Uh-oh.
Not good. Yeah,
it's not good.
No. And it's called Blue Jacket, and it's actually Tiger Woods' golf course that he made. And we have a family friend that's hey, can you please stop? There's actually a family friend that's a member down there, so we're going to wind up being able to go down there whenever they allow guests again.
All right, we should try to wrap this up so you can save your dog from the bee or the bees from your dog. So finally, though, I know you're doing a lot of charity work to help nonprofits in San Jose at this point.
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
It's making the save right now.
All right.
Is that a Michael Scott background?
Yes. Yeah, very observant of you, actually. This is a Michael Scott background.
I wanted to say it earlier, but he was in the middle of an answer. I'm like, wow, The Office.
I'm just playing around with backgrounds during this interview. This is all
doing a great job.
Games.
Hope that dog's okay.
All right.
He's good. He just caught one and then I spit it out, so he's good.
Oh, nice.
That was a Martin
Idiot.
Jones type save right there.
He's our fly chaser. There's all this poop back here. Yeah, he chases flies and eats them, and he's been doing it for 11 years. So he's an idiot, and every now and then he catches a bee, and his mouth just goes.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up. What are you involved with in the charity work, the nonprofits, to try to help out, especially at this time?
Yeah, so we did a collaboration with Violent Gentlemen, actually, and shout out to Violent Gentlemen right here. But we did a collaboration with them. I reached out to my contact there and said I wanted to do something for the Bay Area in particular, and just because now it's home for me. And we partnered with Frontline Foods, and they in every T-shirt that we sold that was a social distancing T-shirt went to. There was a part of that proceeds went to a meal going towards one of these frontline workers. The nurses, doctors, all that, and while trying to save some of the local, the local restaurants as well, by purchasing food from them, going towards them. So we partnered with that. I haven't seen the numbers on that yet. I haven't been able to talk to that guy to see how well we did, but I know, the first couple hours, I know we sold, probably 100 or so T-shirts. I think the only thing that was a little upsetting, I think, to some people was, since we didn't give any big notification that we were going to start doing that they actually bought theirs like the day before and they weren't able to contribute that. So we're going to find a way to work around that and try maybe extend that however many sales by, that whole entire week long of us doing that. Or I gotta talk to him actually today and see how well we did with that. But that was what we did for my part. And we had a couple of the guys that helped were joining us, which I won't, I won't say everyone's name or whatever, but we had a couple guys, former players as well, for the Sharks as well, that helped out. So
cool. Final question. Your name is pronounced Noesen, but it's spelled Noesen. If you had $1 for every time your name was mispronounced, how rich would you be?
I wouldn't be playing hockey, I'll tell you that.
You would own a hockey team.
I might be an owner, yeah, or I might be president for all I know. I don't know. Make that a T-shirt, Noesen for president. No, but it's definitely not ordinary, and I had to, we really just tell people it's Noesen a lot of the time, just to let them, not put Naysin or something like that, which gets outrageous. But,
well, we got your name right, and thanks so much for spending all this time with us, and we can't wait to see you back on the ice whenever that is.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me, and let's do this again for sure.
Yeah, and thanks for showing us the dogs, man, and I'm glad that the bee did not get eaten.
Yeah, well, he might have. I don't know.
Oh,
he was freaking out a little bit, so we'll see.
All right. Thanks for the time. We'll see you on the ice, and goodbye, Facebook.
Bye, Facebook.
With authority.